What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Gamescom is officially kicked off, and we have some stuff we got to get into that's already taken place. And this week, guys, I'm telling you, is going to get out of control. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world of video games. Announcements everywhere. Gameplay videos are going to be up all over the place with first impressions of games. It's going to get absolutely out of control. So we're going to have a quite a long week, I think, ahead of us, which is a good thing, because that means it's exciting and there's just more stuff to get into. First, though, the NPDs appear to have been delayed a day. So I said we were going to talk about it on Wednesday. Looks like we'll actually talk about it on Thursday, but we kind of already know what's happening with Octopath Traveler topping the charts. But I still want to see how everything kind of shaked out along the charts and everything, since there are other stuff we've heard that I'm not 100% sure on, though. Outside of that, though, guys, let's get into some of the quick news today, starting with SpiderMan, which is coming out September 7th, but you got to be careful. I always tell people this. You got to be careful of leaks and spoilers, and it's pretty serious right now because now SpiderMan is shipping to retailers, which means that there could be some leaks. Some of these boxes could accidentally fall off the back of a truck or something, and this was actually shared in a picture, as you're seeing here, from the Spidey PS4 fan account, where they have pictures of pallets and pallets of these Spider-Man PS4 games getting shipped out to retailers. And whenever I see that, I say, okay, we got to be careful, because people could get a hold of these early and then they could spoil it online. We see it all the time for highly anticipated games. It's nothing new. So I just want to keep you guys updated on that. Just be careful. And if they do leak out online, I'll let you guys know, not necessarily the spoilers, but that they have leaked out. So you can kind of be careful, because it seems like they've kept like the actual Spider-Man plot line and even some villains under wraps. So we got to be careful about this. We also got a release date for Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I couldn't believe that release date came out this early before Gamescom even started. March 22nd. And this, of course, is the From Software game that Activision's publishing, which, okay, cool, I guess. We'll see if they jam microtransactions in there. I don't think they will. I think From Software has this one under control. There's also a new collector's edition that was announced that will have a 7-inch Shinobi statue, a steelbook, collectible art book, a map, digital soundtrack, and a replica game coins. So yes, they're going all out with a collector's edition for fans of the From Software games just in general. Sekiro looks awesome. Shadows Die Twice. It's gonna be a good time, I think, for a lot of people, as it appears to be a bit more arcadey, I guess. But hey, March 22nd, that's gonna fall right in there, I think, at a good time for Activision in particular, and I guess From Software. But I guess that still falls into early 2019, as that's still in the first quarter. So look forward to the end of March to be able to play some Shadows Die Twice. Oh, and you definitely want to be keeping an eye out today, if it already has not been announced. It looks like we're going to be getting more information about Shenmue 3 and an update from Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk actually put out a tweet that you're seeing here that seems to go through a whole bunch of, system update available, update yes, no, updating, please wait, system updates successful, and then welcome to Gamescom V2.18, next update scheduled for Tuesday, August 21st. So yes, look forward to, I guess, some sort of update. Maybe they're going to show us some of that behind closed doors gameplay. Maybe they'll show us new gameplay. Maybe they'll talk about a release time, or I don't know. We'll see what they have there, but just exciting to get more stuff Gamescom like this. And we also know that Shenmue 3 is going to have some sort of announcement during Gamescom opening ceremony. They're going to be putting something out. EaseNet actually shared this on their site, that they're going to have some sort of video play with a Shenmue 3 announcement. Could be a release date, could be a release window. Hard to say. Could be some new features, characters, or just plot lines. It's pretty exciting to see, and we'll have to look forward to that too. Although by the time you're watching this, because I am kind of going against Gamescom's timing being off from mine, you might already know what it is. And with some of the quick news out of the way, guys, let's jump into some of the bigger stuff, starting with Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. It's actually been delayed to 2019. This was from their Kickstarter page, and they kind of talked about how the beta they put out, which they did put a beta out to backers got to play just portions of the game, and they said some of the feedback that they received, they had to change it. They had to up the quality, is what they were saying. Now, of course, they did just release another game that people really seem to like, with Bloodstained: Curse of the Moon, so I guess they're at least selling some games, and maybe they have the time and the money to push this back a bit. But during this announcement, they also had to say that they are canceling the Vita version. Now, I know the Vita isn't super popular. It's pretty much on its completely dead just about in the US. It still actually sells okay in Japan, though. Surprisingly, for a system that Sony's pretty much forgotten about completely, it still seems to sell 2,000 to 3,000 units every week in Japan, so I guess it's still kind of alive over there, but I guess they decided there's just not enough of an audience out there to, I guess, cater to release the game for. I think the only thing that's kind of a shame is that there are people who bought into the Kickstarter thinking they were going to get a Vita version of this game because it was announced a while ago and they were pretty confident they were going to get one, but according to them, you can either change your system of choice, so maybe you still want the game and you want to put it on a different system, you can do that, or you can just outright get your money back. So they're not cutting you off from getting your money back, and to that degree, I can say, okay, it's a shame, but at least they're giving you options up to just getting your money back. As for the game itself being pushed to 2019, it's tough because it's technically a Kickstarter, so you get worried about Kickstarters when they start getting delayed, but I guess now we kind of expect for a Kickstarter to get delayed, and they did have a beta out, so the game was at least somewhat in existence and people played it, and it sounds like the feedback that was given was that it's not good enough. So they're going to be pushing more towards it sounds like, and while we don't really know when it's coming out in 2019, we just know we still have probably, let's be real here, probably another year or so until we're going to see this game come out, but they could also release more betas, and who knows, we saw their other game just pop up out of nowhere, Curse the Moon, so you never know. Next up, let's talk about Amazon Prime and how they're cutting out that 20% discount. That's right, they put out a statement to pretty much everyone on their website about it, and this is something that I saw coming. I think a lot of you did as well, that they were going to cut this out, especially when their main competition, Best Buy, cut out their Gamers Club, ended their Gamers Club completely, which did pretty much the same thing, took 20% off of new games, right, at time of purchase. Whereas now Amazon is shifting to, you get a $10 gift card essentially, or $10 coupon when you buy a new game. So you technically still get something, I guess, but it's not at time of purchase. Like, you can't just use that $10 gift card, I think, at time of purchase. Basically, it credits your account after you buy it, and then you can use that on, I guess, the next game, but it's still, at that point, less than what you'd be getting with 20% off of a $60 game. And how long does that $10 voucher last? I don't know. Best Buy apparently moved to that as well, but it's only up to so many games. And everyone's kind of backpedaling. We saw GameStop end their Elite membership, which was just on used games too, by the way. It wasn't really on new stuff, but it gave you like extra points and all this. And you could use the points to turn into its own coupons. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, but they decided to pull back on that. Now here we have Amazon cutting down, and then of course we see that Best Buy cut down. So it seemed like they were all pushing there for a while. Maybe they're realizing that it's not worth it as much to do this because it wasn't bringing the traffic like they were hoping it would. And then we find out that Twitch, who of course is owned by Amazon, is ending that their I guess their ads free part of the Twitch Prime stuff and everything. It's a whole mess right now with Amazon. They're taking a lot of stuff down, but for the video game side, we kind of saw it coming. When there's no competition in gaming like this, where it's discount fighting discount, why are they discounting anything then? Next up, let's talk about more JRPGs, as it looks like a very surprising announcement, by the way. First off, I did not see this coming. This was just randomly announced by Gung Ho, and it's Grandia 1 and 2 HD remastered coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, I haven't seen an exact release date. I do know from what they've announced that it will be at least playable in some form at PAX. PAX West, I believe it's going to be playable there. So I guess we'll see it played, but what? Grandia 1 and 2 randomly coming to the Nintendo Switch. It's great, by the way, to see this. I'm really happy that this is happening, as Grandia 1, I specifically remember playing on the Dreamcast. Grandia 2, I'm a little more fuzzy on, but I do know I had that on the Dreamcast as well back in the day, but I specifically remember playing Grandia 1, I think because 2 came out so close to the PS2. I think it was like, came out in, towards the end of 2000, I think. But I do remember playing the first Grandia back in like 1999, early 2000, and I liked it. It was a good game. And then I believe they also released it on PC, and here it comes now to the Nintendo Switch. What a good fit for this. It was weird. It was out of nowhere. They just threw it out there, but I am going to be very interested to see this game on the Switch. I'll be picking it up, but I need to hear about a physical copy, okay? Okay, Gung Ho, you gotta put a physical copy out of this game, first of all, and you gotta do some cool stuff with it. If it's gotta be $60, it's gotta be $60, but put like a nice manual in there, an art book, maybe a map, and just dress it up and everything in like a sleeve. I mean, I just want a really nice physical edition out of this, by the way. Just make it good. So, I know it's gonna come out digitally, I think that's pretty clear, but physically, alongside of it would be great. This is really cool, though. Grandia 1 and 2 HD remastered on the Nintendo Switch. Who saw that coming? Oh, it was Grandia 2 was on Steam, And Grandia HD Remaster is also coming to Steam. It's coming to Steam and the Nintendo Switch. Of course, the Switch also getting Grandia 2. So there you go. PC fans can also be excited for Grandia HD Remaster when that shows up. And our last bit of news, let's talk about A Hat in Time. It's getting 2 pieces of DLC. That's happening September 13th. And it's coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is weird because I specifically remember talking about A Hat in Time for the Switch as people were bugging them on Twitter non-stop, and they decided see, that's awkward, obviously, right? That's like the moment where you go, wait, how do we delete a tweet again? They specifically said that it will never come to the Switch, and Hollow Knight came out, and some other indie games. Hollow Knight specifically, they're like 250,000 copies in like, a couple weeks. And I assume they saw that and they said, oh, maybe we should release it on the Switch. This is what's happening here, guys. I think a lot of people are starting to realize this, Switch fans in particular. You don't really need to ask for games anymore. See, because it's now crossed 20 million. We all know this. Indie games sell tremendously well. If there's an indie game out there that you really like, they're probably trying to figure out how to put it on the Switch like now. They're trying to figure it out. Keep in mind, A Hat in Time, Gears for Breakfast, Humble Bundle, they're publishing it and everything. Specifically said it's never come to the Switch, and now it's coming to the Switch. So that should tell you a lot, right? That should tell you how good the Switch is to indie games currently. And to be real here, A Hat in Time is a good game. I actually played it on the PS4. I liked it, and it's a fun little platforming game that was kickstarted and actually turned out pretty good. It came out, right? At this point, if Kickstarter comes out and it's mildly what they promised, we kind of consider it good, consider how many fail or just disappear with money. So yeah, it came out, it was fun, I liked it, and it's coming to the Switch now. Now, no release date on the Switch yet, they just say soon. We just know that DLC is showing up September 13th. And you'll have the Seal the Deal DLC pack and the co-op DLC pack as well, and at some point it'll show up on the Switch. I assume this year, they say soon. And with what we've seen with some of these games, they just get announced and then they show up like 3 days later, or even the same day as we're seeing. But there you go. It doesn't really seem to matter if they say, for example, it doesn't work for technical difficulties or they'll just never bring it to the Switch. If they can make it work, or at least they figure out how to make it work, they're gonna go back on it and just release it. It's just, the Switch right now with its attach rate and the way indies sell, it's just impossible for any of these indie developers to ignore. And at this point, it's becoming kind of tough for AAA developers, AAA big budget developers to also ignore. So it's getting interesting now with the Switch now that's ramping up with more and more units shipped. And I guess we'll see who's next to say, oh, it's on the Switch now. And guys, that's going to do it for Newswave today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video if you liked it, dislike it if not. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether maybe you're disappointed that Bloodstained got delayed to 2019. Let me know what you think about that. Or Amazon Prime ending their 20% discount, but now handing you a $10 voucher. How about that one? Or what about A Hat in Time? Originally, they said it would never go to the Switch, and now it is. What do you think happened there? Because they were pretty strong in saying it wouldn't show up. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.